Hi and welcome to another episode of Music Recommendations. I'm sad that I'm having to do this episode as a recommendation because the legendary artist I'm going to talk about has been someone close to me, though I have no connections to him. It's just because of one soundtrack, one album that I really love him, and he passed away yesterday, sadly. So I'm talking, of course, about the legendary Vanraj Bhatia. But I'll talk about that album that I told you about in detail after some time. But before that, I'm aware that a lot of people don't know actually who he was and the immense talent he possessed. So let's talk about that a bit. I did some research on him and I googled a bit and I realized that he was born in pre-partition India during the British period, and he studied Indian classical music and Western music extensively. He went to London to study Western classical music, and he also studied piano with somebody in France for 5 years. So I think that's where he started. He started in classical music. I was going through his discography and I realized he has done a lot of work for chamber orchestras, for big orchestras, and just choir. So he is a master and a pro at that. But we in India know him more because of his film stuff, of course. So I also realized after Googling that he had done a lot of commercials, a lot of ad films. And as far as Wikipedia goes, he is the first person to do a TV jingle in India. I'm not sure how authentic that information is. If you know, any of you guys know, please let me know in the comment section down below. But we know, of course, a lot about him from films. So some of you might know, some of you might not know. He did a lot of films in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, mostly in the so-called art house space. I don't know why they do that. कुछ भी अच्छा बन रहा हो, आर्टी बन रहा हो हमारे यहाँ. आर्टी is not a wrong word, right? बुरी चीज़ तो नहीं है. आप कुछ कलात्मक चीज़ कर रहे हैं तो आप उसको कोने में रख देते हैं, और almost we look down upon it in our country. I don't know why. So he did a lot of films with Shyam Benegal and Govind Nilani, like Bhumika, Ankur, Nishant, and Drokal, and those kind of films with Govind Nilani as well. I also came to know that he did a lot of background scores for films, even mainstream commercial films, most notably Pardes, which is a Shah Rukh Khan film, and Chameli in 2003, I think, which was done a Kareena Kapoor starrer film. So I don't know why he wasn't more popular. I also spoke to a couple of people who said that they heard of him for the first time yesterday when he passed away at the age of 93. But now let me talk about why I am so emotionally connected to him and why I went and checked all of his music from back in that time and why I actually discovered him. It's because of one album. So when I was 6, 7, I saw this film called Ramayan. This is an animated film, Ramayan, the Legend of Prince Ram. This is a 1992 film which actually was made to celebrate 50 years of Indo-Japanese friendship. So the animation was Japanese, story of course was Indian, all the voice actors were Indian. So this film has a Hindi version, a English version, which was, I'll tell you something interesting about the English version as well. And it also, I think, had a Japanese version. So the Hindi version, of course, was voiced by all Indian voice actors, including the legendary Amrish Puri, who played Raman. But you'll be surprised to know that the English version, Ram was played by Bryan Cranston, the person you guys know as Walter White from Breaking Bad. So that was news to me. But in spite of all this amazing, animation happening, great acting, great voice acting, everything is on point, writing, everything is absolutely brilliant. But one thing really, really stood out to me, even as a 6, 7-year-old when I watched it, was the music. So Vanraj did the music of this album, and you can find every kind of song in this album. The film starts with a bhajan based on Lord Ram's life and his name, which goes Sumiran Karle Manwa. It has been sung by Kavita Krishnamurti. Sumiran Karle Manwa, Shri Ram ka Sukh Dham ka But the songs that I really love come in the second half of the film. So you have a song where Hanuman goes and gives Ram's message to Sita in Ashok 1. It's called Janani Mein Ramdoot Hanuman. It's probably the most typical filmy song in the entire film. It's been sung by Udit Narayan. Please go and check that out.
जननी में रामदूत हनुमान, जननी में रामदूत हनुमान, चरण कमल में शत शत वंदन, कर दो माँ कल्याण, मिला है अवसर आज महान, जननी में रामदूत हनुमान.
And then again, I don't know how many composers can do this. You just tell them that there's a song where animals, humans, and every element of nature is coming together to build a bridge. So there's a song called Shri Raghuvar Ki Vanar Sena Setu Bandh Rahi. So it's actually about building that bridge to Lanka. And this song, according to me, is one of the finest examples of fusion music. Generally, when we say fusion, we mean that more than one traditional element has been used, but it never really fuses. And by fuses, I mean you can't really make out which portion is Indian, which portion is Western, and how the arrangement is moving. This is the finest example of that. So please listen to that song as well.
चलो शुरू करते हैं.
Okay, so we all watch international movies. I think we all have seen Star Wars. You have this amazing intro to Darth Vader, right? The theme. So it's called the Imperial March. Again, you have a lot of these villain songs in a lot of these Disney films. But make sure you check out Ravan's theme here as well. So it's one of the finest songs I've ever heard in an animation film. It's sad that we celebrate Pixar and Disney songs, but we don't know about this.
दुश्मन मरे नहीं ना जी पाए. जय 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 वीर दशानन महाकाल, जय 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 लंकेश्वर, जय राक्षसपति महाकाल, जय जय.
So please go and check that out. There are a couple of really soothing ballads as well. So when they first go to Vanvas or exile, there's a song which goes Panchavati because that's where they went for exile. So that's again a very lilting, beautiful kind of a song. So yeah, overall this is an absolutely fantastic album, and this album was reason enough for me to go and check out Vanraj's entire musical career. And of course, he's done some great songs, he's won some big awards in his life, but it feels very sad to say that still remains pretty undiscovered and very, very underappreciated. I would really like to thank Guftagu. This was a show on Rajya Sabha TV. It's now on Jashn-e-Rekhta, where the anchor Irfan actually did a show on Vanraj, and I got to learn a lot more about him from there as well. So if any of you guys haven't watched that, please go and check that video out as well. I'll put that in the description as well. So that's all I wanted to say about Vanraj and his music and how I got associated with it. So please go and check out all of his stuff, and feels really sad to say that one of such brilliant minds and an absolutely genius of a composer left us yesterday. So rest in peace to him. So that's it for the video. I'll see you all in another video. Bye.